Alright, so here's what you're going to need to know in order to trick others into thinking that you've played Life is Strange Before the Storm. So this game takes place before the events of Life is Strange, which is unfortunate because seeing how this is a prequel, the choices that you make don't have much weight. But with all that in mind, let's get started. We start off in the hipster swamp that is Arcadia Bay, with an even more adolescent Chloe as the main character. Doing what edgy teens do best, she's trying to get out of curfew and to get into an 18-rated concert. This is where we're introduced to the new mechanic of the game, backtalking. By picking and doing the right dialogue choices, you can advance your side of the argument and ultimately prove your point.
A girl like you? I can't protect you in there.
A girl like you with pretty flowers on her bicycle shouldn't lecture me on what I can do.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine.
Get into the concert one way or another, where we accidentally bump into some people who really need to take an anger management class. He gets all dude bro after you accidentally spill a beer on him. But lucky for her, she's helped out by one of her fellow classmates who was also attending, aka Rachel Amber. Yeah, remember how we didn't get much story on her? Well, this is her time to shine. Come on, save us, Rachel. Oh, come on! After leaving and making it home safe, you wake up to even more fighting because this girl does not know when to quit, even when she gets what she wants. And after an awkward car conversation with Chloe's new stepdad-to-be, we arrive at school where we can learn and expand our mind. Oh my god, D&D.
I'm an elf barbarian named, Barb.
We're about to enter the halls of knowledge when we meet up with our knight in shining armor, and they both decide that school's for nerds and would rather risk their lives jumping on and off a moving train, and committing minor theft along the way. But out in the woods, we spot two people getting it on, one being Rachel's dad, and the other being a living plot point that we'll see later. This gets Rachel so mad that she ends up committing larceny, which may or may not have caused an entire forest fire. Ah, the things we do for the ones we love. For once, our actions have consequences, and our two daring gals are brought into the principal's office, which no matter how you play it out, ends up getting you expelled and Rachel booted from her school play, because your choices don't matter. But after messing around in the junkyard and tinkering what will become Chloe's future mystery mobile, we're asked by our drug dealer to collect a debt of $1,000 from one of the students at the school. You break into their room, and to no one's surprise, you're caught. But before you can speak your piece, old angry boy Damon is here. Turns out the debt was to him and he's here to collect. Now you can give him the money and stop this boy from getting his face kicked in, or keep quiet.
Your brother said to stay inside. It'll be okay, Mikey. It'll be okay.
If you choose to keep quiet, you have the option of giving Drew back his money that he was trying to save for his homeless dad.
No mosh pit for you, Shaka Bra.
And at the end of the day, you attend Rachel's play, and if you play your cards right, you get to star in the play yourself. And at the end of the night, you're given the easiest choice in the game.
My God! Okay, it's happening!
Don't be scared, you got the mood prepared. Go on and kiss the girl. Don't stop now, don't try.
After that, you both decide to ditch this town, but you're stopped by her parents and are forced to stay for dinner, where unfortunately Rachel snaps at her father. And we learn that Miss Harlot down by the creek is none other than Rachel's birth mother. After a bit more exposition on last episode's plot drop, there's a new objective: to find Rachel's birth mother by any means necessary. Alright, maybe not that necessary. Unfortunately for us, while trying to get information out of Chloe's drug dealer Frank, Damon is there, and Rachel ends up getting stabbed and taken to the hospital. Now it's up to us to find the truth for Rachel. We can start off our search by breaking and entering, and as if this rabbit hole wasn't deep enough, we learn that Rachel's dad intends to dispose of Rachel's real mom so that they can never meet. And before we can leave with this evidence, we're confronted by, I'm sorry, who are you again? Alright, I think it's time you meet my least favorite character, Elliot. He's like Warren from the first game, only way less important and a lot less likable. He's really only here for a plot point and to be a third wheel, but you get rid of him one way or another, and it's off to the abandoned mill. This is where Rachel's mom is about to bite the bullet. Alright, Chloe, time to be a hero.
Oh, come on! You had one job!
Luckily for us, after Chloe comes through to her coma, the fight's already won, and it turns out that Rachel's mom, though with the intent of wanting to meet Rachel, decides that it would be better if Rachel forgets about her, and we're asked that we don't tell Rachel about her father's intent to get rid of her, and we're given this choice back at the hospital. Not like it matters! Because this is a prequel, none of it matters in the end. This is a lot of people's gripe with this installment in general. Because we already know what happens to Rachel and Chloe in the first installment of this game, the only successful thing that this game did was make us care for the characters more. If you do end up talking to anyone about this game, what you'll most likely end up talking about is the relationship between Chloe and Rachel, which, unfortunately for us, we all know how it ends. But if you want to learn more about this game and its plot, then I encourage you to play the full game. That's it from me. Bye-bye.